Hello, good morning. Today is July 27th, and it is another log. And I'm outside in the backyard today, um, just relaxing, taking it easy. It's a Sunday, and it's going to be a lazy one. Spending some time making some smoked meat. I've got a smoker, so that's been going. And it's a good reminder to kind of pause from time to time. Um, like, There's so much to do all the time that it's so easy to just keep going, continue going and going and going without any time for pause. I'm thinking of a couple things. Like, pause is important because, like, if I think about music, there's breaks in between all the notes. It's not just constant noise, right? There's the pauses, and that's what makes the music exciting. It makes it different. It gives it variation. So, like, why don't we do that in real life? Like, why don't real life? Why don't we do that with our own lives? Take the time to pause and kind of stop from time to time, and just like enjoy the weather, enjoy the sun. And then I'm saying that, and at the same time, I'm thinking about like this, think about what I want to do with the rest of my life. With this program, with work, with everything. It's like there's so many options, there's so many things, so many possibilities. Um, so many possibilities. And it's funny, I was thinking this morning, I was re-listening to, I think, day 27. It just posted today because it is the 27th. And it's making me recognize how like everything is so cyclical. Everything, like even just the ups and downs of going through working on this program. Like, I can remember starting out around day one being like super excited, and then maybe it's like a 2 week cycle or something like that. It's like there's like this excitement, it builds up, and there's that burst of energy, and then there's kind of like the pause, the lull, because the things that I've been working on, and like they hadn't been shared out yet, so then there's no feedback. It's like I'm just working in my own little box. I'm working in my own little box, which is funny. That makes me think of like again, quantum physics and like that observer effect, and then like even Schrodinger's cat. Like, I'm the cat in the box, and I don't know if the poison gas is going to release or if I'm going to be safe. And that's kind of the scary thing, right? Like, it's like a superposition. Both of those things are true, until I observe something differently. I guess it's funny. These videos are kind of like those little capsules that put that um, potential into there, and when it's shared out into the world, it's like, does it? What happens? And it's like, is it? It's like, what's the time scale that things happen on, right? Like these cycles that I'm noticing of like the ups and downs, because I think in the last couple of days I was also feeling like a little bit on the dip. So I'm guessing that it's going to come back up. It's a pattern that I've noticed where the everything works in cycles. Everything works in cycles. There's ups, there's downs, there's life, there's death, there's beginning, there's end. And because of that, it's only natural for us to always kind of move through those ups and downs. Um, the People with defined solar plexus, like the emotional centers, they will feel these kinds of cycles very often. And it's interesting. There's a couple different types of cycles in terms of emotional waves. There's like the right on off, like just up and down, like just extremes back and forth. And then there's kind of like the one that kind of goes up gradually and then drops down. And then the last one is kind of like little wavy, kind of like slow ups and then back down. And some people, you might have like combinations of that, and that's kind of like what makes life interesting, right? Like, there's that variation that even though you may be more familiar, or it may be more common for you to experience things in a certain way, you could still have different experiences in all of that. So then, as I'm like working through like this, recognizing that there's ups and there's downs. Um, that's just part of the game, isn't it? Um, it's interesting. I'm kind of playing around, experimenting with like the different video options. So if you've seen the last couple, you might notice a couple different settings, right? Like some, I started out with just shooting, like just turned on the camera, no setup, and just pointed it, just made sure that I was pointing in the right direction, pretty much. And then I started to think about lighting a little bit more. I was in a number of different spaces. Like I was like out walking on my way home on a couple of these, and just like doing my best to be comfortable in as many different spaces and like just kind of making this content because that's part of it, right? And then I started playing again with lighting, and it's funny how like these things all come together, right? Like I spent so long, a lot of time. So I was into photography when I was in university, and then also into like videography, and then getting like learning how to do that like at least decently took a lot of time. Took some time. There's like different things that to understand about lighting and all of these things, and I'm not going to say that it's not intuitive. It wasn't intuitive for me. So then just having to have an intellectual understanding of it before being able to like take action and do it. Or maybe the other way of thinking of it is with my one line, I thought I needed the direction. I thought I needed more information before actually doing something. Like setting up the light and like taking pictures and making the mistakes and just having like stuff that kind of looks like trash. It's like if you don't do the bad stuff, like if you don't take the steps that you need to practice, how are you going to get good at anything? You know, it that it's funny sometimes that how some things make logical sense, but we don't embody them. We don't embody them as easily, and then other things that you just naturally feel you can't make sense of. Isn't that funny? So I'm playing around with different video formats. I got some setup in my office now, because I have been collecting. If you don't know this about me already, I'm a collector of equipment. I have many electronics, lighting equipment, camera equipment, and I guess that's one part actually, if I think about it. So I was just talking about how, like, for example, like doing, like setting up lighting or making video or setting up different shots on camera, let's say, even like with photography, with trying different things out. That I felt like I needed to understand it more logically before actually doing it. But then for like things like equipment, I'm like having an aha moment. For things like equipment that are physical, I feel like I have to, rather than just read about it, I have to like take it and touch it and like explore it some more to learn more about it. And I think maybe the pattern that I'm seeing here, this like realization I'm having, is that for things that are like mental, or actually, you know what? Like for lighting, I tried to read and all of that and just understand it as much as possible, not actually doing anything with it. And then for like the physical objects, it's, you know what? It's actually much the same. I take it, I learn about it, I try and figure out what it is without actually using it, which is kind of like silly, right? Like, how do you learn to use a camera without using it? And it's like, what's the fear there? I think maybe the fear before stemmed from having a bad product. Like, and I tell people this all the time. It's like, if you're learning to walk, you know, like a child learning to walk, they're not going to be good at it at the very beginning. And as you're watching that child walk, you're not going to be like, you suck at walking. It just makes no sense. That's not the way that we learn. But then, isn't it funny that as we like age and grow up and become like adults in our society, that when there's something new that we're learning that we've never done before, there's for some reason a personal like expectation sometimes to have to be really good at it. Maybe it's like perfectionism or something like that manifesting. And then it's funny that other people outside of you also expect you to be good at it. It's like because you don't look like a child anymore, you're not assumed to, you're not given the space and the grace to learn in any way that's like in the way that we all learn things as we were growing up, you know? Like, think if you were just standing there with your child and just be like, why can't you walk? Why can't you walk? You're terrible at walking. It's not going to help them walk real good. They might actually not want to walk very much. So then, if you're looking to learn something new for yourself, or if you have like a change management thing going on with your teams at work or like wherever your workplace is, like change is happening all the time. So we just don't acknowledge it a lot of the times because we like being stable in a comfortable space. That comfort is important to many people. And it's funny because if you think about like the teachings of Buddhism, Buddhism says that like life is suffering. You know, to summarize it very crassly, it's like life is suffering. So you're always suffering, doing something. You could be doing poorly in suffering. You could be doing well in suffering. You know, it's like there's always more outside of yourself to grasp at, to want, to desire. So if you only focus on the things that you don't have, then you'll never be happy, right? It's funny, like out here, as I'm walking around, I feel like time moves a lot more slowly, rather than sitting and looking, filming it, like with this camera. Because I feel like I've been like talking for hours, and it's only been not even 15 minutes, something like that. And you might be sitting at home being like, oh my God, like, you're still going? Still talking? It is my time. You may have made the choice to listen. Haha. Yeah, so experimenting with different formats, I guess. So that's kind of like just getting more relaxed, being on camera, and then talking, and then uploading it without like caring about what people will think. Because people will think things anyways. Like again, it's like something that I understand. It's like it's very easy to manifest in real life because, and again, there's that real life. It's very easy to manifest in the present because I think for that, it's something that's directly observed. Like if I think about that, I could get that kind of like feedback, whether it's verbal, nonverbal, whatever. Like could kind of understand how someone is feeling after like an interaction, for example. And sometimes when you don't know, that kind of makes things like challenging, right? Like if you meet somebody and you don't know whether they like you or not, that isn't that confusing, right? Like I can't imagine that you like that feeling very much. So so in like that in person, that interaction, that observation is almost immediate, right? I think one of the things that I'm starting to get used to on camera is knowing that what I do now just has to feel right for me in this moment. And then whatever happens afterwards is just what happens afterwards. I'll observe it later. But it's like I don't need to like wait for it. It's like a different time scale, for example, especially at this point, right? Because like I'm still learning. I'm still walking. I'm taking the steps to grow. Because if you don't take any steps to grow, you won't grow. If you stay static and do nothing, you'll not have anything new or different. So, like taking this time to kind of just put things out there and practice, it's like a lot of things that it's funny because there are so many like ads that I get now on Instagram and everywhere. I've gotten these for a while. It's like, this is the secret to your success. This is the secret to like doing something new. This is the secret to like getting like whatever followers in a short amount of time. And cool, like that might work. That does work for some people, and like we see it happen, sort of. We see the end result of it, maybe, right? What we don't see is like all the steps leading up to it, right? Like we don't see all the work that people put in to get into a certain point. I always thought that it would be interesting to kind of like watch a journey, like from beginning to end, or like as far back in the beginning as possible to present, right? Like to have that all documented. And maybe that's why that original TikTok that I watched resonated with me, to like record every day. It's like it was a signal that gave me permission to make the choice to do this, because there's nothing stopping me from doing this every single day. And like really, the only difference between before watching that TikTok and after watching the TikTok was the like, oh, like, okay, like just do it. Okay. Um, because I could have been doing this every single day. Yeah. It would have been tougher though before, say, I got this camera. I've talked about this before, but this camera is great. It just like sets up, it has a screen, blah, all of this stuff. But I could have filmed on anything. Like I got this phone here that can record, right? Like I was recording on this for some time, but for some reason I got away from it. And it's funny that I prefer to film on this than say like on a TikTok or something like that. And maybe that's like another thing, like just to practice getting onto TikTok and making videos and stuff. Like I put a bunch of stuff out there. Some of them were like pre-recorded, like this type of like content. It was like talking about human design, different types and stuff. And then others were like answering questions, and that was pretty cool. Like I had some people like make comments on some of the videos, and then I was like interacting with them. Yeah, like stuff like that. I wonder. You know what? Like even like with TikTok, maybe this is my problem. Like it's always my problem. I put I put out a the first half truth, the first video in the half truth series was talking about how you are the problem. You are the problem. You are your problem. Sorry, and I'm my problem. So like maybe it's my problem, like looking at TikTok, feeling like everything has to be a banger, you know? Because like I see so many people with like fun content out there, and maybe it's just that I like those ones, so that's what's shown to me. Again, it's like curious, like the feeds that other people have, right? So maybe it's time. Like, is this time to get back on TikTok? I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. It's a good thought. It's a good thought. I think the approach then is the same as this: just record it, put it out there, and forget what happens. What am I even going to be talking about? I feel like on TikTok, initially, when I got on TikTok, it was a lot more like short videos with like, actually, no, it had like all the different types by that time. This was like 2020. And maybe it's like, what do I be? And maybe it doesn't matter. I'll just start doing things, right? Start doing things. Get to work. Get to work. So I think that's going to be the plan. I'm not good with making plans. I mean, because like sometimes it's like when it's set, it feels like I want to like go against it, which is like, why are you so oppositional? It's just an excuse, right? It's just an excuse to be oppositional. Say like, I don't want to do it because you told me to do it, Maybe it's like really because like I'm not sure how it's going to turn out, or that I'm concerned about doing it and I have some type of like, you know, something holding me back. But it's easier to point outside to say like, oh, because that rule is there, I'm not going to do it. It's just like with the TikTok. It's like because that TikTok said to make these videos, I did. So then, what are you? What's this question I'm going to ask you? What are you not giving yourself the permission to choose? What are you not giving yourself permission to choose? Something like that. Think about that. Like, are you waiting for permission? Are you waiting for somebody to tell you that it's okay? Because I'm telling you, it's okay. Do the thing, make the choice.